So you can share whenever you're ready.
Okay, I will share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep, I can see it.
Yep. Perfect. Hi. So today I'm gonna talk about the basic information about TRSS. So today's talk is gonna be a general introduction from the high level, what this is about, how I use it. In the follow-up series, we're gonna dive into details and talk about how to use particular features. So without further ado, let's get started. So I stole the slide from Shelley. So basically, if you haven't heard about the 3-layer cake story, this is it. In the previous series, we talked about the test framework, which is the test kit gen. That is the base level that allows you to be able to slice and dice. And then we have the second layer, which is the automation layer. That's a CI system. So most of you probably familiar with Jenkins. We're also using GitHub Actions, Azure DevOps, and so on. So that's the automation layer. And then TRSS, which is a test results summary service. That one is sit on top. It's a top layer. Basically, that one is a monitor of different CI server. And so what is the TRSS? TRSS basically is monitor different CI servers, has a personalized dashboard, and provides you ability to filtering, sorting, comparing, searching test result. It is a tool to help you to triage, it stores the history and also the performance trends for the performance test. We currently have 2 servers set up. So there's internal TRSS, which we set up on Fire. There's also external TRSS at Adoptium. The code is at Aqua Test 2 repo. It's open sourced. And then this is a high-level overview of what TRSS, the layout. Basically, we have Node.js application, and then we have React client, and we have MongoDB database. And on the server side, we have front-end worker and back-end worker. So they're responsible for to dealing with the request from client and insert data into the database, search the data, and reply to the client. And this is just some quick snapshot from the TRSS server, just some key features. Let's just go to the live server. Let me switch my tab here. So this is the internal TRSS server, where tss1.fire.ibm.com. As you can see, we are monitoring adopt Jenkins, HYC Jenkins. There's multiple build from HYC Jenkins, and there's also build from OpenJ9 Jenkins. So since today's talk is about high-level overview, so I'm just going to mainly talk about the main page. On the main page, you basically see different tables for different builds. So that will be the build name. So in this case, it's pipeline build test JDK11. And then this is the Jenkins server. So if you want to find a build, you first have to look at what Jenkins server you're looking for, and then find the build that corresponding to that Jenkins server. And then in the column, you have build result, test result, start by, Jenkins link, and dates. So on the build column, if you want to basically follow the root build and traverse down and try to see the children build, then that will be the link that you should click into. So this one will show you under JDK11 build number 56. Those are the child build from this parent. And if you click into it, then that's the second layer of children, or third layer already, third layer of child build from this guy. And then if you click into that until you reach to the particular test level. This is the test level. So that's from the true view, if you will. And then if you want to know what is the build result, this will list all the failed build, which means any build that's not success. It will include the test build, it will include SDK compilation build or some other jobs. If they fail, then they all will be listing here. So this is another view of to see what is going on. By the way, anytime if you click on unstable, you will see also see the console output as well. And also you can click onto Jenkins link and link back to the build. Let's go back, and then from the test result, that way in the grid view, this only focus on, so the focus of this view is for the test result. So we basically looking at all the test build that belongs to this number 56, and then list them in the grid view. So we kind of showing it based on the JDK version. In this case, it only shows JDK 11, but if the build runs JDK 8, 11, say next, then it will all shows up here. And then, so this runs J9. In adopting build, there will be hotspot and kernel, so on and so forth. And then based on the platform. First row is sanity. So first those all sanity tests, so sanity external. This one is, let me see, pop-ups functional, and OpenJDK, perf, and system. Second row is basically extended. So the whole row is extended, and the third row is special. The gray means there's no test run. Green means, well, all tests passed. And then the yellow or orange shows that means unstable. So that means there's test failure. You can click into it, actually shows you the detailed view of what test failed. There's a lot of stuff that we will need to talk about in future series in terms of how to use them. And then if you ever see a red, that means there's build failure. So those icon and color matches with the Jenkins result, Jenkins build result, and then at any particular time you can click on the Jenkins link to link back to the Jenkins build itself. Also, and then you can basically choose if you want to focus on particular platform, you can basically select anything that you're interested in. Let's go back. Of course, stat by is basically if this is this one's not particularly interesting because it's set by timer, but if in the personal build, for example, here, let me find the personal build. Yeah, here, then you know who actually started the build or showing user email. And also there's, again, Jenkins link. You can link to the Jenkins build if you want to refer back, and the date as well. So, and then this is really high level of overview of TRSS for today. Any questions you guys have?
Hi, Lan. I was just wondering.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just wondering if there is a page to show all the builds for a specific user, for example, with like the personal builds or the grinders.
Yeah. So we do show the personal build. So this is HYC Jenkins personal build. So if you look at the start by, then you know who actually started. So you can look at it and basically find your own build, right? We don't have it for grinder yet, but for personal build, that's where you should look at. And oh, no problem. And if you care about the test result, then you should look at the grid view to show you what is going on in your build to give you an idea. So in this case, where this person ran JDK 11 and 16 on X Linux, and then the failure happened on sanity.openjdk. So you can either click on the grid view to look at, oh, okay, there's JDK 11 tier 1 buffer failed. This button failed here. If you click on it, it will show you the console output of this particular test. There is, well, this is the same thing as a Jenkins console output. So you can either look at this, or you say, oh, I want to look at the Jenkins output of this, and then you can click on this Jenkins. That will link you. I have to log in, but you get the idea. You have to, you can go to the Jenkins build. So, and then there's also other actions that you can take. So I'm not going to go to details, but generally this all platform to see whether this build is pass or fail, deep history, possible issues, how to create an issue if you think that's a real failure, and then also Jenkins link to that. So yeah, like I said, we will have more in-depth theories about how to use this TRSS to help you to triage failures.
So it seems like TRSS is meant just to view build results. Are there any plans in the future to sort of enable triggering builds directly from TRSS?
So triggering builds is a little bit tricky. It needs credential, so certain permissions. So that's why TRSS is mainly sit on top of just viewing, helping to gathering the data. At this point in time, we don't have plan to make TRSS for actually triggering build. But we can talk offline if you have a particular request. We can basically evaluate case by case and to see what is needed here. Basically, this is we want this to be useful for the user to triage. So anything that will help in that category, we will consider.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions for Lan? Going once, twice. Okay. Thank you, Lan, for your presentation.
No problem. Thank you. Like always, any questions should just ask on the Slack channel. Thank you.
Okay, I'll start sharing the document. All right. Yeah, so if anyone else has any lightning talk ideas, we can just add them to the list and schedule them at some point. Let's take out user issues. So it doesn't look like we have any new ones since our last meeting. It seems like everything else has a comment. So we'll just skip that. The 0.27 release, Adam, do you have any updates on the status of that? Adam, I don't think Adam's on the call, so we'll just skip that. In terms of the 0.28 release, we're still targeting code split on August 8th, but that depends on how much progress we make, specifically on the method handles work. So yeah, so there's going to be some flexibility on that date. Is Jack on the call? Jack, do you have an update for method handles?
Yeah, so there hasn't been a lot of stuff that have been updated on the method handles. We're still looking at the same sanity failures. One of the issues that was discovered was there was a differences that were unmatching between OpenJ9's VM implementation and JIT implementation, where for JIT inline calls that are unresolved, JIT have done the operation to always push a null appendix object, even if the appendix object is not required. The same work have not been done on the VM side, which I am working on to address, so that if the null argument has been pushed by JIT, it will be removed by VM during the INL call. In terms of performance, from last week's update from the JIT team, we have been able to get the performance numbers from 20x down to about 8x in the worst case for NASMOR. There's one last INL transformers that still have not been fully implemented, which we're hoping to remove the rest of the 8x regression down to something that is more in line with less than 1.5 times of what currently OpenJ9 is performing, where we will start more of the fine-tuning stuff. At this stage, we're still looking at the big deltas that we need to fix, and we don't have any particular numbers for the conventional workloads and lambda-heavy workloads.
Okay, thanks for the update, Jack. So I'll skip the AR64 update because Daryl is not here. Shelly on the call. I don't see Shelly. So unless someone wants to give the dubbed update, we'll probably skip that as well. What else do we have on the call? Small list today. So we don't have Devin or Marius, so we'll skip those. So as far as snapshot restore, we're just working on updating the API, the CRU API. And we're hoping that this next round or a couple rounds of changes will eventually stabilize on an API so we can start focusing on the core VM capabilities we need for restoring JVM state. Chang, do you have an update on the Panama progress?
Not much. We're still waiting for the open JT maintainer to merge to the enabled on Java 17. And other than that, some get start to work on the code on the app code on VM side. Yeah, that's everything.
Thanks. All right, so we're at the end of our list. Does anyone have any issues they'd like to bring up? Okay, if not, we can close the call here and we'll meet again next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, bye.